Next on deck with Tim Black.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey.
So that's the statement that got her in trouble. That's the one that may get her censored. I don't know. I don't know if it's this or if it's smacking a phone out of a reporter's hand. I don't know. I really don't know at this point what they're going to get her, what's going to happen, what the issues are, everything that's on the table, but that's what it happened. That's where it originated.
So yes.
Written by nice.
And people were quick to bring up, well, look, if you're going to be upset with Jasmine Crockett's antics, you got to start with Donald Trump, because we all know Donald Trump, he did this.
Reporter, now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
So we got Jasmine Crockett making fun of Governor Abbott's disability, the paralysis. We got Trump mocking someone, and I don't know exactly what the disability was. Differently able situation, I'm not sure what it is. It was a reporter, though. And Trump was running for office, right? I don't know. They said, Tim Black, how is this a problem? Why people coming for Jasmine Crockett? Nobody came for Trump. What? No one came for Trump? Really? No one talked about Trump? I mean, the level of hypocrisy you gotta have. Folks, people been coming at Trump for the last 10 years nonstop. I literally know people, literally. I love that. I hate that word, but I like using it. I know people in this business that do what I do who've been talking about Trump since 2015. They are now multimillionaires, quietly making millions of dollars. That's all they've been doing for the last 10 years. And when people say dumb stuff like, why don't you talk about something else? They go, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. They do their money like a deck of cards. What'd you say? I can't hear you. Oh, I know you said something. I can't hear you as I count my paper. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what this is right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you talking about over there. Yeah, you go ahead. No, you cover that for me. You go ahead and cover that. Good for you. Great journalism work. They're gonna make a shrine for you when you die. Me, I'll be giving my kids some money. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. You know? Yeah, baby. Yeah, we go ahead and fold that up. Put that in here. Shit, who we fooling? Put this in the safe. Shit. See, that's what I've been seeing happen. So, but to say that, look, I'm not defending what Trump did here at all. That's the thing. I'm not defending Donald Trump's actions. I don't have to. I don't have to defend his actions. Trump is getting ridiculed more than anybody else in America about anything he does. You already know that. The difference with Trump is he doesn't make an excuse for what he did. You say, hey, why were you making fun of him? He's a horrible person. He deserves it. Moving on. He doesn't try to say, I meant something else. Why would you think I meant what I meant? Slight difference. Can't both people be wrong? That's all I'm saying. Can't both people be wrong? I mean, comedians make jokes all the time. Neither one of these people were comedians when they did these jokes. It is what it is. And when you gotta bring up a whataboutism, aren't you just admitting that she was wrong? That's why you gotta bring somebody else up to defend it, because it can't be defended on its own. It requires you to offer up something else to compare it to mitigate the offense, which is basically just admitting it was the wrong thing to do. But that's too much like simple. We can't do that in our political environment, even amongst ourselves on the internet, when none of us are responsible for any parties. We're just being private citizens. We still can't admit water is wet.
That reporter he is talking about is Serge Kovaleski, who now works for the New York Times. As you can see right there, he suffers from a chronic condition that impairs movement of his arms.
I knew for a fact that Jasmine Crockett was not referring to some abstract meaning when she mentioned Hot Wheels, because I've covered this. Now, I didn't cover it because of a statement about Governor Abbott. I covered it because of some of the things that Crockett compared to reparations, like black people getting clean water and clean air in their city that they paid to live in. And I thought was bogus as hell. Oh, I was hot with Karen Hunter. Yeah, I was hot. How Karen Hunter gonna have this woman on here and this brother from MSNBC bring up the topic of reparations and let this woman sit here, a representative from Texas, sit here and say, well, it's not like black people don't get anything. We do have water. I made sure people in my district, we're fighting cases to get them water and air that doesn't kill them. That's something. And Karen let it slide. So that's why I covered it. I did not cover it for this. But now that we bring it up.
To watch some legal mind, I feel like we need a legal strategy around how we protect ourselves. This woman has been going hard in the paint, and it's been amazing to watch. If you live in Texas and you don't know her, get your life.
Yeah, I had a problem with that though. She said it's amazing to watch a woman show her ass like that. It's amazing to watch. She going hard in the paint, calling white people names and stuff. We love that, man. It's a something about being black, man. You just love seeing that. And you go up against the power structure, man. That's where it comes from. I understand where it comes from. But see, my job is to advocate for Black America. None of that got anything to do with advocating for Black America. It's a good show. It's interesting. It can make you famous. But it don't do shit for us. That's something for her. I'm disappointed that older people like her and Hunter and this brother here would not correct this sister on this issue. They would let it ride as if it's beneficial to Black America that she does that. Anyway.
Live in this country, you don't know her, please get your life. Texas is 30th district. I got a lot of questions about Texas. Let me welcome to the show the great Representative Jasmine Crockett.
Just to call somebody great who's a freshman representative, just to call them great and they haven't done any legislative wins. Like, what are you talking about? What was great? Oh, okay, the acting. Doesn't seem like Miss Hunter was being very serious. Neither was Miss Crockett. Neither was his brother. Very excited to meet his friend live on the show. Let's keep going, Tim Black. Keep going.
Here, hello.
Hey Karen, how are you?
Everything that is happening. So they need you to stay there, to stand in the gap, which you have been doing brilliantly. I wanted to ask this question as, people have a pejorative name for Governor Abbott. I won't use it on the airwaves, even though I'm thinking it right now. 13 other governors.
There it is. Karen Hunter says, people have a pejorative name for Governor Abbott. I won't say it on the airwaves, although I'm thinking it right now, and they all smiled and laughed. Because the Hot Wheels comment is something they use all the time. Like it's a regular, it's a sting term they use. Like, I don't know, Nixon was Tricky Dicky. Called him Tricky Dicky. What was Reagan's nickname? I don't know. Barack Obama, Barry B. I don't know. It's Barry B. I forget. I don't remember what their names were. Sleepy Joe. That was Trump gave that to Biden. Sleepy Joe. Trump's been giving out a lot of nicknames. So apparently a pejorative nickname for Governor Abbott is Hot Wheels. So why couldn't Jasmine Crockett just stand on it and say, I made a joke, that's all it was? Yeah, so if it was taking a bad taste, it was just making light of the moment, had a good time. I roasted him a little bit, but I didn't mean anything by it. And I wish him and his family well. And if he was offended or if his family was offended, well, I apologize. Didn't mean to offend you. I mean, you could say that, but I guess that apologize part is the hard part. Let's keep going because I think Karen Hunter comes back and she clears the air on this.
Came and descended as Texas is, I guess now they are trying to sit Jasmine Crockett down. And this was an unforced error on her part. It was unnecessary for you to refer to that governor as Governor Hot Wheels in a public forum where you're on the, what you do behind closed doors, y'all in Texas all do it. I've heard it. You don't get up in front of a microphone where people are recording you, ma'am, and you already in the crosshairs and call this man Governor Hot. You don't do that. I'm sorry. You don't do that. It was unforced. I rock with you till the wheels fall off. But that was an unforced error. And now they're going to not stop until she sat down. And it was so unnecessary. So I've been asking this question a lot. Those of us who have spaces, is this necessary? Is this necessary? And it's not about being afraid. It's unnecessary because you can get your point across. And this is a message to myself. I'm talking to myself right now because I'm on here every day. It could slip out. It could slip out. I'm just letting you know. I'm not immune to having that same unforced error, which is why I'm saying it.
First of all, have you met MAGA? Have you been?
I just want to note that, Karen Hunter, she addressed it. She hit it head on, and we can be critical. We can also give our props and acknowledge when somebody stands up and says something that is on the money. Yeah, it was an unforced error. And yeah, there's other ways to get your point across. If you're a lawmaker, if you're just a person doing content, if you're just a radio host, that on her, I think she does, I don't know what kind of radio she does, Sirius FM? I don't know what you can get away with there. Do they have to follow FCC guidelines? I don't know. I don't think they do. So I don't know why she would not be able to say what she wants to say. But I can say whatever I want to say. It's just, I don't know, do you have to say it? I guess that's the point. So shout out to her. So now they're talking about it on, here we go on CNN panel. They're going to talk about it. Let's get into their conversation about it. Let's see what the people on the round table have to say.
To a MAGA rally where Trump is mocking a disabled journalist or a POW or saying we should punch him out. I mean, it is rich. And let me tell you, I have been very, very out there on criticizing Trump for that disgusting, disgusting rhetoric that has coarsened the language around politics. It's gross. He's why we got here. And what she did was disgusting. And I am not going to.
Nah, he's not why we got here. We got here because people like it. It's because people like it. Like, once again, like, I'm aware of this. Like, anybody in media knows whatever works, other people are going to imitate it. We got here because it worked for him. And he had to see somebody else do something similar and said, ooh, I'm going to turn it up a notch. He didn't invent roasting people. Black people, I think we invented roasting people. I know we've been roasting people since, I've been roasting people since I was a kid. We used to do that on the stoops at Surrey Square Apartments in Prince George's County over here off Suitland Road. That's where I grew up, and we would literally sit outside, we would sit outside on the steps at night, three different buildings of us, me and my friends, and we just make jokes about each other. Who goes in the house crying first loses. And trying to be too sensitive, because you got to fight everybody if you do that. And that's what we did. We roasted. We played the dozens. This goes back a long ways. But as it pertains to politics, there's always been name calling in politics. Trump just ran it together in a sequence and made it more, he just made it more front and center of what he did. But those rallies where he talked off script, I think they afforded him the latitude. It boasted him. And then the response from the crowd. Let's be real, man. Trump did it because he saw a response from the crowd. Anything you see people do over and over again, unless they're complete idiots, they're only doing it because it works. So anybody watching Donald Trump do this type of business, this type of media engagement, they know he did it because it worked. And I think Crockett and others are just pupils, though they hate to admit it. They would never admit that. But those in the media business would know. We know. If we're smart. Now, I ain't always been that smart in the media business. It took me years to figure stuff out. But this I'm sure of. This is not new. Trump did not invent it. Ranking and roasting each other, politically roasting and calling names, that ain't new. It's just Trump did it better than most. That's all. And that's why you're saying it, because he's been the most successful with doing it. That's also important. He's been successful. He's a two-term president now from doing this, in part. So yeah, don't throw it away like it's just, he does it and it's horrible. No, we're horrible. America's horrible because we like it. If we didn't like it, he wouldn't be president. If doing this was a problem, really, he wouldn't be president. Again. Right? And he didn't sneak in doing this. He didn't sneak in, was all, buttoned up, and then he got in office and started doing it. He was doing this on the campaign trail back in 2015, 2016, before he got elected. So we can't act as if, I guess we can act any way we want, but let's be realistic. We enjoy it. We enjoy the theater. We enjoy the show. Difference is Jasmine Crockett is a freshman congressperson and a black woman out of Texas by way of Missouri. And Donald Trump's the president of the United States. A little bit difference there, a little difference. Stature, what you can get away with, well, what they can take from you. There ain't much you can take from Trump, right? He wasn't a part of any committees. You can't censor him. He wasn't a part of Congress. What could you do except turn off the TV? And who wanted to do that? Turn off the TV of the sideshow of him roasting people, beating up everybody in the political aisle, the Republicans, beating up everybody on that stage in 2015, 2016. Come on, he was destroying them left and right. Who wants to cut that off? Little Marco Rubio?
Accept her spin of this. It's disgusting and gross to mock someone who is disabled just because you don't like them. And if Democrats, this is your idea, this is what your party's going to do now, is do Trump but gross but worse and then pretend it's not. I'm not here for this, and please do better. Please, this cannot be the answer for the future of the Democratic Party.
I think actions speak louder than words. And in this instance, I think we have a president who, when the plane crash happened in Washington, D.C., he blamed it on people with disabilities. When RFK says that autism is a threat to the American way of life, which is a disability, apparently the White House has ended ASL, American Sign Language interpreters, in briefings, which is making it inaccessible. Questioning and gutting Social Security, which a lot of disabled people rely on, Medicaid, Medicare, people rely on. And in his first campaign, mocking disability. Two wrongs don't make a right, but actions speak louder than words. And the policies of the Republican, including undermining special education, ID, the Individuals with Disability and Education Act, making sure that schools are not going to be accessible. Those are the actions of this administration. Those are the actions of the Republican Party. I would rather folks be demonizing those things than...
But to be clear, you don't agree with what she said, right?
Well, her explanation was that she...
She just gave a whole bunch of disclaimers and a bunch of distractions and whataboutisms for what was done. And a lot of them we could go... I just want to say, man, I wish they would really stop talking about cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Because that hasn't actually happened. And no one's lost their Social Security, Medicaid, or Medicare. No one. And if you trim the budget of something, it doesn't mean it's coming out of the benefits. How about coming out of some of the cushy salaries of people that don't do shit all day except sit and watch their email? How about that? But see, we don't want to be real and say, hey, maybe we could cut some expenses. Why did government grow 10, 20% under Joe Biden? Why did it grow? Why did the government budget grow 10 to 20% just under Biden's tenure? What increased? Did the croissant price go up that much? Is a good cup of coffee in the office that much more now than it was in 2020? Like, really, what happened? How is it like I hear people saying, I watched a long video of people saying Trump destroying America, doing this, doing that, he's trying to gut all our institutions. Hey, dog, trying to take pricing back to 2020 pricing is not destroying America's budgets. Like, some of you right now living on your 2020 budget, and it's just fine. You're supposed to live within below our means, just in case, right? That's what I was taught. Why come government never does that? Oh, I know why. Because they're not using their money. You're running a business with other people's money. So they just up the money every time so they have more money to play with. Get it? But it's your money. And then when we want money spent on things that are important to us, actually things that we want done in our communities, they always say they don't have the money. So what I would like to see happen, Allison and everybody else that's on this who just hears this CNN commentary and jump out the room on it, what we need to do is say, okay, Trump, you cut all of this from the budget. What you gonna do with it? And don't just say, send it to me, us. We could say that for a portion. How about we say, what are we gonna do with it now to help our communities? What can we do with that money that's gonna actually impact us? Because we all know only like 30% of USA money went to help actual people. We know that now. We've done some research. We didn't just sit back and watch MSNBC and listen to NPR, listen to CNN complain about cuts. We read and we realized, hey, a lot of that money went places that didn't actually feed people. That was sort of the camouflage, all the other stuff they were doing. I wonder if that's what they've been doing in other agencies. Very interesting. So, yeah, and Allison, why you just can't say she shouldn't have done this shit? Oh, that's right. Like I said, we can't be honest. Honesty is not the policy of the liberal commentator. Got to defend it. Got to defend it.
Wasn't referring to that policy. If she
So
was,
you buy that?
But here's the thing. If you make fun of somebody because of their disability, I do not agree with that. As a person with a disability, as a person who has family members with a disability, as a person who has taught children with a disability.
Then why didn't you just say that? Why you say you don't agree with what she did?
That is not acceptable.
Okay.
She said that's not what she was doing. And so I know Jasmine, and I believe Jasmine if that's what she was.
Well, you know what? There are people that know Donald Trump that think that Donald Trump's a really nice guy. Onward.
Was saying.
Well, I don't know her yet, and so here's how I see it. She's new, she's young, and she's trying to find her way. I think
she ain't that young. She's almost 45 years old. Come on, Johnson. She's older than many of us who grew up in the Generation X, like I did, under the crack era, coming out of the realms of the crack era. She's older than we imagine ourselves ever living. What are you talking about? That's part of my anger about it. It'd be different if she was Glorilla's age. She's twice Glorilla's age. And doing this in front of young black women, knowing that if they acted like this on their jobs, they will lose their damn jobs. And people are holding it up like this is great. Like this is amazing. Knowing if they go into their job, if you got a job, if you go into your job and conduct yourself the way Jasmine Crockett does, that may be the last time you go to work there. And it's being held up like this is great activity. This is something to be proud of. And at the end of the day, it maybe you could make that argument, dog, if it was bringing us some type of returns. All it's bringing is sound bites and popularity to her. How does it help black people? Lawmakers are supposed to help us. How does this help us? And no one wants to address that. And that's what I'm talking about. Now, if you can show me how this actually put money on the table or money in the pockets or roof over head or contributed to some way helping black people get off the bottom, if it somehow reduced the unemployment, reduced the underemployment, reduced the homeless rate, something, increased the reading ability of black children, something that it's doing that helps somebody other than Jasmine. I mean, God bless her. She's probably a very special person. And I'm sure her mom and her dad and her friends will love her. And I'm sure Allison loves her. Ashley Allison loves her, as we just heard. But yo, we can't just cheer for shit because we like people. We can't condone what people do just because you like them. Because people like Republicans too, and I don't see you cheering for them because of that. I mean, what holds true on one side holds true on the other side. But once again, my job is to advocate for Black Americans, and too many Black Americans, in my opinion, are being I forget the word that happens with the vampires. That's seduced, gloried or glowed or glamored. That's it. Too many people are being glamored. Too many of us are being glamored by this display. And that helps Jasmine Crockett. It got her all the way on the Stephen Colbert show, on DNC Convention, got a character on SNL. Yeah, that's great. How that benefits us, I don't know. You know, Charleston White's doing pretty good too. And so is Andrew Tate. And so was the guys, whatever. There's other people. Right? Okay. But what does that do for us?
I think that this party is scrambling, trying to seem tough. And I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that's going to be as useful. I've even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful. And I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. But I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight.
That's sad. So Pete Buttigieg, I didn't even watch it. Pete Buttigieg now is cursing because Jasmine Crockett. That's crazy. That's hilarious, man. I got to get that. We got to do a clip of that. I mean, most of my audience won't give a damn to watch it, but it'll be funny. I'll still do it because enough of you might care that it will be funny.
But this is not the way. I don't think the cursing is going to work. I think I've been on stage and I've gotten a little bit hyped sometimes too. I hope that she will take this as lessons. You talked about learning lessons, that type of stuff. It doesn't sound to me like she's actually taking full responsibility. If that's true, I don't like it, and she can't do that again. She's too important to us to do that again.
What I fear is that no lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar when you do it. When you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making unfair jokes and people are roaring, when you have politicians being vulgar and saying in their roaring, what's the lesson?
We're trying.
What's the audience? It says a lot about the audience.
But what we're trying to deal with is that Trump has done this and he's been successful.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody who does this stuff and they're successful, you start thinking, well, is that the right way? I would like for us to say it's not. But I think it's hard for us to hear Republicans.
Damn, man, stop stealing my material, man. How did you know that's what I was going to say before I said it? Damn it. I want $100 million.
Scolding us on it when your guy does it all the time. We are trying to find a way forward. Jasmine is too important to make these kinds of mistakes. I think.
No, she's not, because she's only known because of what she's doing. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not important, and she's only known for her antics. In fact, people are always like, well, Tim, why don't you talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Because my audience doesn't give a damn about her. That's why. Largely my audience is Black American, and they see her in the clip. They're not even going to watch the shit. That's what it is. They scroll Netflix and don't see a Black person in the thumbnail. They're like, screw this. I know. I look at the numbers. People tell you what they like. People tell you what's important to them. And then there's what people are really react to, what they really engage with. And it is what it is. Van Jones is right, and so am I. I said it before I watched this clip. It is what it is. When I look at my analytics, which show everybody, not just you, I'm sure I got people that want to hear about Marjorie Taylor Greene. They want to hear about all these other things. I know, who don't care about the superficial theatrics. I know that's how you feel. I'm telling you what my Google Analytics shows me. people feel. And when, just like Charleston White, when he drops F-bomb and calls out these people and says these crazy things, when Jaguar Wright says these things that are crazy, whatever, when Kanye West says these things, when Andrew Tate says these things, when Adam 22, when Vlad TV, when anybody does this, Yiannopoulos, that's his name. I was going to give us when Yiannopoulos, when Alex Jones was talking about the people were turning the frogs gay. When he was saying that lizard people are coming to eat us, his numbers went through the roof. Because that's what people reacted to, man. It's what it is. And it's difficult to tell somebody don't do something that works when people are responding to it. It takes a moral center.
She has a bright future. I hope that tonight she's looking and says, you know what? I don't have to do that kind of stuff to get an applause line. She's too important for us to make those kind of stuff.
And her tweet, her not so apology, I would call it, she said she was talking about his policies. Let's look at the policies of Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a state that my parents reside in. 2023, 2024, it was the #1 state that most Americans moved to, a Republican state. The second largest economy in the country. It would be the 8th if it were indeed a country itself. The fastest job growth in America right now is out of Texas. That's Republican policies. Those are conservative policies. That's why Republicans maintain leadership in 2024.
It's also the state
moving forward.
Where women.
Yeah, he just shut that down. He just shut that down. Yeah. So moment of pause for Shermichael Singleton shutting down that conversation. When people are dumping on Texas, because I've heard it a lot because they don't like Abbott, you're doing something that's working. You're doing some things, yeah. That's the numbers. You can make your arguments. I know Ashley's about to make her arguments. I think it's going to be a whataboutism or that or an isolated issue. We'll see.
Don't have the right to bodily autonomy. A woman literally just died from not
and
being
it's the state with the greatest economic prosperity in this country. But those are good policies that she said she's against.
I guess people didn't care that much about having those procedures done enough to stop them from moving to Texas, because you just said the most moved in state. So I guess that didn't hurt the numbers.
And don't run over dead women.
Yeah, and she tried to walk it back and obviously forgot about her
The new nickname I'll give for Beto O'Rourke is the king of the clapbacks. Beto's rolling all around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? Oh, shit. Yeah, she's been doing that. I guess she's been doing this for a couple of years now, huh? It's not even the first time she did the thing about his disability. Yeah, Kevin Hart Kevin Hart was unable to host the Oscars because of an old tweet where he said something similar about LGBTQ. A joke. And he's a comedian. And they took the hosting of the Oscars from him. And you want to act like it is wrong for people to be like, well, Jasmine did this wrong here. That's what? She didn't even lose anything. She didn't lose an opportunity to do something that's beneficial to her career, like host the Oscars. Just crazy. This is where we are, though.
previous commentary using that exact same insult. I don't know how the Democrats came to appoint Jasmine Crockett as the unquestioned leader of your party, but thank God. And I think what she should do is go on TV twice as much as she is right now, maybe 3 times as much, because every time she appears and makes one of these mistakes, says something radical, it only further divides her party from the rest of the other 80% of America who can't stand this. But the problem is there's an audience for it. I heard Jimmy Kimmel's audience cheering on Tesla vandalism. I hear the Daily Show audience cheering on attacks on Elon Musk. I hear the human rights audience cheering on an attack on a man in a wheelchair. And I realize this is what the left has become, an angry mob of people who are cheering on attacks on a guy in a wheelchair and vandalism against people who bought a Tesla. It's pathetic.
Next on.
Yeah, I guess it's yeah, that's a pretty good one, man. I tell you, people don't like Scott Jennings because they don't like a rebuttal to the Democrats. He made some good rebuttal. Man, you can't have a good conversation without having, You know, you got a panel of people. You got to have somebody to hang in there. It's usually 4-on-1, 4-on-1, and he's still cleaning their clocks. Yeah, Republicans always get to acting, Christian-like. Christian-like. But, yeah, it's kind of hard to do that with Trump as the president when he's roasting people on a daily basis. But, once again, that argument only works when you whataboutism and you stop looking over here. And if her whole thing is Trump's the devil, the Antichrist, he's horrible, then you're emulating him in so many ways, which I've called out before with Jasmine Crockett. So she's doing a Donald Trump impersonation. Y'all don't see that? I don't see it. Leave her alone. Okay. I won't, but yeah, I hear you talking. It's obvious. And there are other people doing the same thing. And now everybody wants to be Jasmine Crockett. People are just like, I'm voting for president. Let me get in here. With his awkward self, just let me get in here and say things. I think things that let me say, I think it's very obvious that we are in the situation where we are in, and we need to become better at the. Please, guys. I don't know. I think that Jasmine Crockett here, she made a mistake. So we're gonna move on. It's not the end of the world. I see that she has security backing people up offers that don't ask her questions about the issue. That's hilarious. She needs security to keep her from saying wrong things. And, it is what it is. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section about this. I'm sure Governor Abbott, I saw his response. It gives Republicans an opportunity to mock Democrats and call Democrats mean, anti-Christian, or and questioning moral authority on issues, and that's all it does. Back to the horse race. All right, guys, give it up for that segment. Perfect. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Now, Google thinks this next video is going to be perfect for you. It's right up your alley. So click the next video, watch that with me, and let's keep this politics going. You're built for this.